Bobby Firmino is linked with Nottingham Forest. Have Forest lied about what they did with Jonjo Shelvey? Is he really on loan or not? All that coming up. Welcome to your Forest News. Good morning, good evening, or good night, wherever in the world you are. Hope you're well, and welcome to your latest Nottingham Forest transfer news and news. Coming up in today's episode, we'll be talking to you about the latest rumours, the exciting rumours that is Bobby Firmino, the ex-Liverpool icon. We'll be taking you through the whole mess and debacle that is the Jonjo Shelvey story. And more importantly than that, tonight at 8 p.m, we have the man, the myth, the legend, Lee Charles. We will be previewing Forest versus Blackpool live with their audience and our audience, so make sure you tune in for that, because there is actually a game going on in amongst all this transfer news, in amongst all this drama, turning into EastEnders. Anyway, you know what to do. Hit that like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. And let's kick it off by talking about Bobby Firmino. Now, how has this all come about? Well, Bobby Firmino has been back in the UK. He was at Liverpool's last game doing all his hugs and kisses with all of the ex-players, talking about how much he misses Liverpool in particular. However, the rumours have been circulating that he is not happy. He is out in Saudi at Al Ahly, and he doesn't like it out in the Saudi world. He don't like the Arabs, it seems to be, and he is happy to make a move if it is feasible. He is on a crap load of money, I think something like 17 million a year. Now, even the Greek father will raise an eyebrow at that price tag. But Bobby, if he were to come back to the Premier League, would be willing to take a major pay cut. You don't say, Bobby. Who the hell's going to pay you that? Not even Manchester United are that stupid. Now, the rumours are Forest are interested. You got a couple of the Brazilian teams interested as well. The one that Scarpa went to, Corinthians, I believe, and a couple of Turkish clubs. But his preferred destination is the Premier League. The question really is he past it? Has he still got it at 32? I mean, even at Al Ahly, he's played 17 games and scored 3 goals. But if we look back at it, at Liverpool, he played 256 games and I think got 82 goals. So the return isn't massive, but it's what he did for that Liverpool front line. The link man, the guy who was threading the balls through to Salah and Sane, that old formation that won them the league. They looked really good, but that was a few years ago. And is Forest really the type of club now that should be looking at these 32-year-olds, these temporary solutions? Well, maybe with Taiwo out injured, should be back shortly, but clearly injury prone. With Chris Wood probably in a purple patch, you'd like to hope that it's not and it could last longer, and himself a 31-year-old. And with Divock Origi most likely going to be sent packing back to AC Milan, Forest do need a solution. But this to me is a bit too temporary. I like the player. I think he's still got it. I think he could link it up. But to me, he was more of, not really a false 9, but half a false 9. Not a full 9, kind of a 10, but somewhere in between there. He just linked the player up. You'd probably liken his playstyle to Gabriel Jesus at Arsenal. Not prolific in his goal scoring count, but does unlock a lot of doors and can bring players in. Now, what I would say is he would be absolutely perfect for a Nuno ball style setup, because Nuno likes that number 9 who can link in the wide men, bring them in and then get their asses into the box and potentially get a goal or two. So if Nuno's looking for that new Jimenez, I'd say he's better than Jimenez still, and I'd say he'd fit nicely into that Nuno style. But I don't know what it's going to cost us. It may end up being one of these things where we loan him from the Saudis because he really is unhappy out there. And then maybe we can get him at a cut price. But the wages are still going to be high, even though he's going to look to cut them. And I also expect a lot of competition for him. It won't just be Forest from the Premier League that will look at him. I could see a couple of others. I would expect West Ham to start sniffing around if this starts to develop. But at the moment, Forest is the main Premier League club that has been linked with him. Now, the rumours are that he has been in Greece and spoken with the Greek father and had a chat. I cannot verify those one iota, but hey, this is the silly season, so I thought I'd bring it to your attention. Do you think he's spoken to the Greek father? And you know that if he has, the Greek father would sort that deal out just like that. But that's the latest on Firmino, so get your thoughts in. I really want to know, would you take a 32-year-old with the widest teeth in the world at the City ground, or do you think Forest should be going all guns blazing for like a Garassi or someone like that, who's a younger, potentially more years in him profile kind of striker? Get your thoughts in down below. All right, let's get into the mess of a story that is a mess of a player. That is Jonjo Shelvey. Okay, so quick rewind. Remember back in the summer, for all you OGs that have been here for a while, when we broke to you the story, in fact, it was before the summer, about Jonjo Shelvey, the fallout, the reasons why he fell out, you know, wink, wink, and all of that stuff that we verified for you. That must have been, nah, it's longer than that. It was back maybe February, March time last year. Anyway, Shelvey then, as we thought, got loaned out to a Turkish club. What's come out now is that he was not loaned out. In fact, Forest had to terminate his contract, pay it off, clear the debts and all this to get rid of him because Forest had overloaned players out. Basically, the Premier League rules states that you can send 8 players out on loan. That was last season. It's then been reduced, I believe, this season currently to 7, and then next season gets reduced to 6. Now, Forest have about 10 to 15 players out on loan, but there are exemptions. If the player is under 21 and classed as homegrown, etc., then that doesn't count towards the quota. And there are so many players out on loan, and I can't believe I didn't do the maths on this one. I mean, you got Omar Richards, you got Scarpa was out on loan, apparently Shelvey was, O'Brien, who else we got, Bowler. I'll leave you guys to name the rest in the comments. Let's see how many you can come up with, but there is a lot. So Forest had to cancel his contract, pay him off potentially, and then let him go as a free agent, which is fine. The big problem is what Forest posted about it, and that was that they officially stated on the club website that he had gone out on loan, a year's loan, if I remember the wording correctly. So have the club lied publicly about this is the question that hit all the socials last night. And I've got to say, if that's the case, I find it extremely disappointing. Shelvey was never a popular character with the fan base at Nottingham Forest. To sit there and have to lie about it, it's kind of embarrassing. Why not just say it? No one would have cared if Forest had come out, or at least I don't think anyone would have, and said, we've terminated his contract. He's no longer a Forest player. We wish him the best of luck. Now, if it is true, and remember this is all allegedly because Forest have yet refused to comment, if it is true, then there is a lot of embarrassment to it. And I think part of this reason is that we paid 6.6 million, if I remember correctly, last January for Shelvey. And within 3 months, he was dead to the Forest squad. What a waste of money. And in terms of his wages, I think if I remember rightly, he was on 60k a week, maybe even 70. All that money was being paid off. And he was on a couple of years contract. Thanks again, Cooper. Great buy that was that you recommended. So it's cost us a lot of money. And you could argue that some of that money that could get us in trouble with the financial fair play issues that are coming up. So I don't like any of it. What I don't like at the moment as well is the scrutiny Forest are under. It feels like just because we beat Newcastle and Manchester United and put a few of the big boys' noses out, then now suddenly Forest need to be slapped back into their position. And I don't like it. Every day there seems to be a new drama about Nottingham Forest. I'll tell you what, lift the bonnet up under any of the other clubs and I'm sure you're going to find a few skeletons there as well. So anyway, back to the Shelvey point. How do I feel about it? Honestly, I don't care. I just wish the club had come out and honestly said it in the first place. But if they have lied to us, then I think I think their ethics need to be questioned on that one. But we are where we are with it. Let me know your thoughts on Shelvey. Alright, so there are your main two stories on Nottingham Forest this morning. Don't worry, the day is still young. There'll be plenty of other stuff coming out, and as always, we will break it down for you here as and when it breaks. Quick reminder tonight, 8 p.m, me versus Lee Charles, the legend that he is, talking and looking ahead to the Forest Blackpool, because we owe him one after that 4-1 drubbing last season. If you got this far and you've forgotten to hit the like button, now's your chance. Hit that like button now before you leave. Make sure you're subscribed with your notifications on. Honestly, the rate things are going right now, there's a new story about Forest every 5 minutes. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you on the next video. And come on, you Reds.